Welcome to Wild Things. I'm Miss Holly. Ready to hit the trail? Me too. Let's go. Hi, it's Holly. We're here in the 100-acre wood on the south side of Bellingham, and today, because we're talking about mushrooms, we asked my mushroom teacher to come visit. So may I introduce to you the amazing Pam Borso. Pam, you were my mushroom teacher from the Northwest Mushroomers Association 17 years ago, I think. But can you tell us what you do for the Northwest Mushroomers?
I help organize the display trays. So lots of people come and volunteer their time in making beautiful displays at the mushroom show. And before that we have an identification class, and I help with the identification class, which is where I helped Holly learn about mushrooms.
What's your favorite thing about mushrooms?
I think they're beautiful, and the fact that they tie the entire world together underground.
So when we're talking about mushrooms that are above ground, let's use some vocabulary. Here's a stalk, and sometimes they grow out of a cup. Here's the cap on the top. Whoop. And underneath here will be the gills, if we're talking about gilled mushrooms. Remember, how they're attached is really important. But that's the stalk. That's a cup or a vulva. Sometimes they have scales on the top. They're all little pieces left over. And underneath, they'll have a special little, you've seen these on grocery store mushrooms. It's called a veil, and it's that little white cobwebby stuff that kind of holds the spores in until they're ripe. But you'll find it underneath mushrooms, and it could be hiding the spores and the gills until they're ready to come out. Sometimes the mushrooms, when they've opened up, they will have a little skirt attached to them, and we call that a ring. They left a little bit of remnants. So Pam, when we teach about gilled mushrooms, and remember, gilled mushrooms are the ones with the big gills on the underside.
They look like little pages of paper.
They do.
Edges of pieces of paper.
On the edge of a book, or sides of a fish, gills, mushrooms look like that. Okay, and inside all those gills are little tiny spores.
Well, I would take a spore print, and to do that, you take the mushroom, and there's one right there. Yeah, that cap right there. And you cut the stem off of it. Here's a very small one. And you set it with the gills down, this is the top of it, onto a piece of white paper that usually is just a little bit bigger than the mushroom. And then you set it someplace and put something over it, like a butter cup or something like that. I mean a plastic container, so that the spores won't blow around, because that's how they travel. And then you leave it for several hours. And at the end of several hours, you will have the color of the spores. The spores will have dropped out onto the paper, and you'll be able to see the color of the spores. And that's a really good diagnostic or identifying feature to a mushroom. Well,
Oh my gosh.
mushrooms have many different jobs to do in the forest. One of them is to connect all of the trees and plants together and underneath the ground with their mycelium. It's all those little white fibers that you see that they grow out of. And these ones here. So under the ground, there's vast, huge networks of these, and they connect all of the trees and plants together. The mushrooms break down the minerals and enzymes, and even provide water in some cases to the plants and trees. And the plants and trees provide the mushrooms with sugars or carbohydrates because they're making that out of sunlight and the air through photosynthesis. So they trade nutrients. So the ones that are connected under the ground provide those. The ones that decompose, like these over here, are actually breaking down the wood or the leaf litter, the needles, the leaves, all kinds of things, into smaller elements, into smaller little things that the trees and plants can use, and that the mushroom uses too.
So the mushroom is like a pizza delivery person to a tree, and then it breaks down the pizza with its pepperoni or pineapples or whatever. They call mushrooms the stomachs of the forest because it breaks down that pizza into really delicious, tasty bites, just like pretend it has teeth, and it's delivering them to the roots of the trees. The trees are saying, thank you so much, I really need those nutrients to grow. It's the vitamins and minerals that make me strong, and I'm going to give you sugar. So from all of the leaves where it's photosynthesizing, it brings down sugar and it connects to the mushroom's hypha down here. So it's a two-way relationship.
So I'm gonna make a forest pizza, and I like to pick things that look super yummy to bugs and maybe some other fungus and some mushrooms. So I think that this would be super yummy for a fungus to eat maybe. Ooh, definitely want to put some twigs in there, and maybe with some nice soft moss, maybe like the fungus can grow in between there.
So Pam, I know that animals eat mushrooms in a forest, but I'm pretty sure no human ate this. Who else likes to eat the mushrooms in the forest?
Beetles, slugs. Is there a slug on that one?
There was.
Has it gone away now?
Mm-hmm.
Slugs love mushrooms.
You can see where they had their little raspy mouths on there. They lick it with their sharp tongue. They have a bunch of teeth on their tongue called a radula. And the slug's just like... You can see all their little slug bites. And then inside, that's not slug work. What's eating the mushroom from the inside will be fly larvae. Sometimes you'll find the maggots inside. Mushrooms have chitin in their cells, which is like a really good protein for lots of things. Deer, did we say deer?
Deer, squirrels.
Deer. Squirrels!
Mice.
Mice.
Mm-hmm.
Humans. Dogs sometimes, and it's not very good for dogs to eat mushrooms. Especially our Amanita muscaria, the red ones with the scales. They'll make them super sick.
The little fairy mushroom, the ones that look like...
They came out of a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are deadly poisonous to dogs. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can zoom in. This is a really good one to look at with your magnifying glass. Look at that. That's the fruiting body. Is that a mushroom? Well, it's a fungus. Look, there's a little turkey tail. This is a shelf fungus And we can look at the underneath. Oh boy, this is a dry one. Do you see all the pores in there? I found something really fun to touch. Want to see? Whoa. Do you see this yellow stuff? When I touch it, it's gonna show up on my finger. This is a slime mold. Whoa, which is not really a mold, but it is definitely slimy. So we said that mushrooms are like the stomachs of the forest. So what they do is they send out a bunch of enzymes to decompose and turn this tree. These are growing on a big rotten tree. They're probably turning this tree into dirt. But that's what mushrooms' job is to decompose and make the nutrients available to all the other trees and all the other plants, so they could eat their breakfasts too. We never eat mushrooms straight from the forest. They're always cooked, but we never eat anything we're not absolutely sure of after we've identified it. I just very carefully with our spore charts. That's the best way to know.